All right, so welcome to this Light City tutorial. Today I'll be showing you how to edit videos for Light City Church, video sermons specifically. So the first thing you're going to do is to open up whatever email account is connected to Light City Shared Drive. And to access the shared drive, you just want to go to Google Drive, go to your shared drives, and most likely this has been shared with you already. And once you go to media, you will see something called media tutorials. Go here, and then you'll see 2025 media team tutorials, and you're going to want to open up video editing tutorials, practice assignment 1, and this is what you're going to need for the practice assignment. So if you are doing a practice assignment, come here and download everything in here. So typically these are the 4 things that you will need when you're actually editing a sermon during the week and you're assigned to do it and you're uploading it to YouTube. You should have a copy of the audio from the sermon. You should have at least 2 files of the sermon itself, the video recording. You should have a Bible verse design where we display the Bible verses on it, and you should have the YouTube intro available. This won't be in every folder that you open up when you're downloading stuff, because you just need to download it once and then just add it to the beginning of every video that you create. Just download all of this, put it in a folder called Light City, put the week, put whatever, and then we can get started. Once you open up Premiere Pro, go to New Project, and you want to title it whatever you want to call it, and then you want to go ahead and choose a location where it will be saved to. So just go ahead and make sure you save it to the location where you downloaded, the same folder that contains all your downloaded files. Put this in the same folder. You want to keep everything in the same exact place. You don't need to worry about any of this. Just press skip, and now your layout should look something like this, hopefully. If it doesn't, just go ahead and go here to this workspaces panel right here, and then press reset to saved layout. If nothing changes, that's probably because of the size of your display screen. So things might look a little different from mine. So yeah, go ahead and import all the media that you need for the assignment or the sermon that you're editing. All right, once you've uploaded everything that you need, you can go ahead and take the sermon and make sure that you add this to the sequence first before anything else. Always add video before anything else, because the first thing you put on your sequence will decide the settings for the whole sequence. So if you put the audio here first, then this whole sequence would be very different. And then you can add your audio on there as well. So we're gonna go ahead and synchronize the audio. So I'm gonna move this out of the way. Usually you're gonna have 2 clips like I mentioned before. So yeah, I'm gonna move the second clip out of the way, highlight both of them, click and drag, right click anywhere on either of these. We're gonna press synchronize and press OK. Okay, so typically that gets the job done, but you always wanna make sure it's synchronized properly. So in order to check that, just play the audio, play the video. It looks pretty synced to me. You don't need this audio anymore. So what you can do is hold down Alt on your keyboard and then click on it, and this separates the video from the audio. Usually when you just click on one of them, both of them will be highlighted, but if you just hold down Alt and click on the audio, it will just highlight one of them. So now you can press delete. I'm gonna hold down Alt again and press up on my arrow keys, and it's gonna move it up like that. Now you'll see that there's a gap here, and that's because this is where the audio didn't cover what the video covered. So we don't need any of this here at the beginning. So we're just gonna trim it off. In order to go precisely to this point right here, I'm just gonna press down on my arrow key, and it's gonna take me there. And now I can make a cut. So there's 2 ways to make a cut. You can use this razor tool right here and make a cut, or a quicker way to do it is to just do Control K, and it cuts it for you. So you can delete this, get rid of this, and you can delete this as well. So just to show you what I just did, I clicked on this empty space and pressed delete, and it closed the gap for me. We're gonna go ahead and take the rest of this audio. So I'm going to click here, just press down on my arrow key to make a precise jump, Control K to cut the audio, and now I'm going to just bring this audio right to this clip here, highlight everything, synchronize it, Press OK. Once it's done, I'm just gonna check it.
And what does David do in the stronghold?
Nice. Okay. So I'm gonna hold down Alt, click here to select it, press Alt, and just move it up with the arrow key. And we don't need the rest of this audio here, so I'm gonna make precise jump to there, press K, Control K to cut, delete. All right, I'm gonna highlight this and move it here. One thing you'll notice is that if I take this, I can move it. They're not connected. That can cause issues, big issues. So something I will do is highlight both, hold down Control, press L, and link them together. So now if I click on one, they're connected. They're connected now. Once again, this is not connected. I can connect them by highlighting both, holding down Control, press L, linked. Now we're good to go. Hi, quick note on this part from Editor Justin. If you saw the way that I just kind of brought both of those clips together, do not do that. Before you bring those two clips together, check the end of the first clip to make sure that the audio is trimmed and the video is trimmed as well. So I'm gonna cover this later in the video. I should have covered it right now, but before you bring the two clips together, make sure to go to the end of the first clip and make sure, zoom in on it and make sure that the audio and the video both end at the same point. The next step is going to be to go to color, and we want to make any adjustments to the color of the video if necessary. Honestly, I feel like this was shot really well, so we don't need much in terms of color, but just to go over these different settings quickly, this controls the color temperature. If you're familiar with the video cameras at our church, there's something called the white balance, which controls how blue or orange the image is. You can also adjust that here. The tint, you don't really need to mess with this. The saturation adds more color to the image. It makes all the colors you see here will pop more if you add more saturation. So let's say I add 110 in saturation and press enter. You're gonna see that, let's go back to how it looked before. This is how it looked before. If I add 110, oh, not 120, 110, there's a lot more color in her face and color in the background. So let's scroll through to see if this is a good amount or if it's too much. I actually think this is a good amount, so I'm actually going to leave it at 110. I would honestly just suggest just going through each one, playing with it to just see what it controls. Exposure controls the brightness of the image. I'll add 0.2. You don't want to go too high because the more that you raise it, eventually the image will start to break apart and it will lose quality. So you don't want to adjust these too much. Contrast will basically add more emphasis to the shadow parts of the image. This is a darker area and this is a lighter area. So if I wanted to increase the contrast by 30 to make it dramatic, let's say 50 to make it dramatic, you'll see that, yeah, it feels a lot more dramatic because it's made the difference between the lighter areas and the darker areas more pronounced. So we don't need too much of that. Highlights just controls the brighter areas of the image. So if you want to affect how bright these lights are, because these are highlight areas, you can do that by just adding, let's say 50. Yeah, so we don't need that. We're gonna leave it how it is. Shadows, obviously you know what that is, controls the darker areas of the image. White controls the white areas, black controls the black areas. That's a basic understanding of how color works when you're editing. The next thing we're gonna do is to add the YouTube intro. So in order to do that, I'm gonna highlight both of these and we're gonna add the YouTube intro here. I'm gonna add it in there. It's very tiny, so you're gonna have to zoom in. I'm gonna move this there. Yes, so I have my YouTube intro, and then you want to find a good start point for the sermon. We don't need all of this, so we're gonna go right to the beginning where she starts to lead into maybe introducing the verses that we'll be going over. Another thing that I'm gonna note is that if you upload this footage to your laptop and your laptop is moving very slowly or processing this very slowly, something you can do to potentially help you speed up everything and stop the lag that may be happening, change this from full to as low as you can go so that it may make things easier. This is basically lowering the quality of the playback. This is the playback right here. So if you lower the quality of the playback, it should allow your computer to run a bit faster. If your computer can handle the highest quality, then just keep it at full. But if your computer is struggling, this could help it.